that I'd like to ask you as I start is, what are your core beliefs and values? And what disrupts them? Do you think that your wife or your husband, maybe your coworker or that person that cut you off in traffic the other week knows what they are? Chances are they probably don't, but the one person that does know the answer to that question is you. Now, fellow Toastmasters, friends, and Madam Toastmaster, Jill, when we think of icebergs, we also consider that historic event when the Titanic was actually sunk by one. It wasn't the thing that we could see at the top that was the dangerous part that sunk it. It was the heavy, large part beneath that did the damage. It's also that same heavy, deep part within us that has a similar effect. When it comes to the fact that we all have deep core beliefs and values that are way beneath the surface. Now, the thing about it is, they're not bad. They're actually fairly good for the most part. Some may not be as good, but they're a part of who we are. The thing is, we often don't know what those core beliefs are until they are subconsciously violated. In the next couple of things I'd like to show you is a clip, and just to give you an example of what I mean.
I'll cut it out.
Okay, all right. Oh, hey, wait. There you go.
Thanks. Love you.
Love you too.
You have got to be kidding me.
Did you forget something, Kevin? Why is the tank on E? Seriously. Oh no. That's what you give me. Oh no. Thank you for that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. No, you know what? Just stand there. Stand there like you always do, and I'll do it. I'll handle it. I'll handle it like I handle everything else in this relationship.
Wow. So, what happened here? I mean, she was off on her day, things were great, and what happened? Anybody? Empty tank of gas. And because of that, it went south. I mean, did Kevin know what he did? Or actually, was it intentional? Did it even matter to her if it was intentional? Probably not. The thing is, what we're doing here is figuring out a way to build self-awareness through detecting our icebergs. By doing this, it helps to reinforce our core beliefs and values or change them. The most important part of it is that it allows us to gain more control over our emotions and our reactions to things. Now, the way that we detect those icebergs that we just seen there is by asking a couple of questions, or actually a few questions. But there's a difference when you ask a why question versus a what question. Now, when you ask a why to something that was so out of proportion, what it does is it helps you to stay at the surface. It never goes to the core of what the issue is. All it actually does is helps you to stay above surface on issues that may or may not even relate and either increase your anger, your depression, your sadness, and so forth. But when you ask questions like what, that is when it connects to the deeper core of what the issue is. In the next two clips I'm going to show you, our subject is going to talk to two friends. See if you can notice the difference in her reaction to what questions versus why questions.
So Kevin and I got into this huge argument this morning.
Really? Why?
Well, I'm trying to get out to the gym. I'm running behind as it is. I get in the car, and he leaves the tank completely empty.
Why would he do that? He knows you take the car in the morning.
That's what I said. Exactly. Why? You know, it's probably the same reason why. He never remembers to put down the toilet seat.
That's ridiculous.
Or why he never buys the right groceries, even after I take my time and I write out these nice long lists for him.
Why can't men just follow simple instructions?
It's like he doesn't even consider me sometimes. He makes me so angry, I could literally rip my own hair out.
Oh boy. So let's see what happens with the next friend.
Kevin forgot to put gas in the tank this morning again, and I just lost it.
I mean, he just makes me so mad sometimes.
Really, what about that made you so angry?
I don't know, it's just that it would have been thoughtful of him to fill up the tank for once.
Seems like a pretty big fight over a gas tank. What's really bothering you?
Well, that's just it. Like, I know the gas tank doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but he used to do those little things for me like that all the time. And now he doesn't.
So you feel like he doesn't do the little things for you anymore. What about that bothers you so much?
I feel like he doesn't try anymore. Like he takes me for granted. And he is my husband. And when you love someone, you should make an effort.
Do you really feel like he doesn't make the effort? What does he say about that?
I'm not sure that we really even talked about it. I just kind of flew off the handle. Maybe I should have an actual conversation with him.
Yeah, I think you should.
What do we notice different? Anybody?
They're not shouting.
They're not shouting. What was different between the first friend and the second friend and her reaction?
She's looking for content.
She's looking for content in the second version, right? She's looking for a way to connect to the issue at hand instead of finding a way to keep her riled up. How many times has that happened to us in our lives? You don't have to answer that question right now, but how many times has it happened to you where a question is asked, why? Why did that happen? And you're like, you know what? I don't know. And you just keep getting angry and more upset and to a point that you don't even realize what the whole conversation was about. However, in the second one, we've seen more depth, more calm, more relation to what the issue was. Did we see our iceberg? Did we figure out something new about her? By asking those questions, we were able to see something new within each answer that got us closer and closer to the actual thing that was most important to her, which was the iceberg of love means showing you care. Now, this isn't a magic wand or a way to make things better for everyone, but it is an actual tool, and this is a very, very condensed part of this course that allows you to have that self-awareness and to be able to see what happens when you tap into what makes you tick and being able to navigate through those icebergs. As we are continuously going through our holiday season and dealing with those family members and loved ones, this is actually very helpful. It's not the end all to be all, but it's definitely something that could be very beneficial to every last one of us in here when we start thinking about those things when it comes to detecting your icebergs. So to summarize this, I'm telling you this. In order to detect them, ask what questions, then ask once you've actually gotten to that aha moment, stop digging and start asking yourself another series of questions. Is what I'm thinking, is my values hurting or helping? And you decide. Now understand, there's no right or wrong, but by not detecting or being aware of these things, that's the thing that could be most dangerous. Miss Toastmaster.
Thank you.